And we are live. Hey, good morning to you. This is Kirk Duncan. Welcome to our training today about being an empath. What is it all about and what's going on with this? Today, I'm going to train you, teach you, show you, help you understand yourself better, or maybe this is even understanding another person. So today is going to have a lot of great insight. I'm going to be using the screenshots in front of you here. And so you want to be prepared with a pad of paper and a pen, or with your camera to take pictures of the screen, so I can help you in this journey of understanding yourself. Because wow, as soon as we can understand who we are, how we function, we do so much better, don't we? We really do. So it's great to be with you. Let me know that you are here and ready. And by jumping in the chat and just telling me you are ready. Shamla's ready. Molly's ready. Hi, Earl. And Emma, good morning. Megan, Cherie. Hi, Cherie. And Rayma, Debbie, Elisa. Wow, check it out. Look who's here today. Great to be with you, though. Fantastic opportunity. I mean, we really, when it comes to technology, right? When it comes to technology, it's just the coolest thing ever that we have the ability to be able to connect like this. And I know sometimes we just take it for granted that we have all this technology, but it really is a miracle that I could be here and you're there and we're connected. And I can do a show and tell, right? I can show and I can share and help you in this path. So let's take a look at this really quick, and not really quick. There's a lot here to share, but to talk about, what is the reason why I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this because I really believe there are people in this world who are gifted and talented, who could be helping other people getting through their problems and challenges with their gifts and talents, but they're not. They're not stepping up. They're not stepping out to help. And I know it's because they have low belief in themselves, but I think the biggest reason is they don't know how to use the gifts and talents they have to serve other people. They don't know how to connect those dots. How do you do this? How do you help people? Because to that person who has the gifts and talents, they think everybody is like them. They think everybody thinks like them. They think everybody acts the way they do and understands things the way they do. And yet they don't. For example, let me just give you a quick insight. Wow, that's a lot of light. Hold on, I didn't realize how bright I had my lights. Okay, hold on a second. I got to switch my lights. We're going to get a sunburn. I don't need a sunburn this morning from my lights. There we go. Okay, so for example, as I was growing up and getting married and having kids, what happened is I would talk to people and they would look at me and go, wow, that's a different way to look at things. Or how did you come up with that? And I kept getting these comments that made me feel like there was something about the way I do things that was really different. And I just thought I was slow or dumb, or maybe I was totally off base, but I really took it as a negative that I was different. When there's 20 people in a room and I get looked at like I'm the one who's different, at that point in my life, I really didn't know how to handle that. So I would pull back and kind of like hang out in the back of the room, because I did see things differently. I did, approach things differently. I did have a different perspective on things. And it's not because of my education. It was because just my point of view. So I pulled back. I thought I was the odd one in the room. And so I wouldn't offer my advice or my ideas or my insight, because I thought, I'm really off because there's not very many other people who see it the same way I do. It wasn't until years later. I mean, when I say years later, it was years later that I was sharing with somebody some insight or some advice about what they were going through. And they looked at me and they were just like, how did you figure this out? I said, well, it's just how my brain works. And the person said to me, they said, you should do something with that. I was like, what do you mean do something? Like, no, you really ought to get out there and help people because that is unique. That's different. And for the first time ever, I realized maybe this ability and talent that I have is for good. Maybe I stand out instead of stand back. And I was like, okay, but I don't know. And so I gently started to be a little bit more forward with it, a little bit more confident with it because of those comments. And then along the way, somebody calls me an empath, and I'm like, what's an empath? I look it up and it's like, all right, that could be a way to explain what I do. But the journey of hiding my gifts and talents to the point of now using my gifts and talents intentionally has been a life-changing experience. And that's my purpose, is to help people, help them solve problems, help them get to their goals, help them make changes in their life, help them find their true potential, help them uncover what's great inside of them. And so my talents and gifts, we'll use the word empath today to be able to describe that, because I use it intentionally, has literally caused me to feel like I really am living my mission. I really am living my purpose in life because I'm using what I'm built with. You know what? My gifts and talents that God gave me. And it just really feels so good to be able to help other people in so many ways, and then help a lot of people like all over the world. Like I had a person who was from Japan, who was in the United States, traveling the United States, seeing all the national monuments in the United States. And on her bucket list in the United States was to come to one of my body language shows. And she came to one of my body language shows, came up and introduced herself and said that she was from Japan traveling, and she had been watching my YouTube channel. And she says, I just had to come and see you and meet you and be part of one of your body language classes because I've been watching your YouTube videos. What you teach helps me, and it's helped my family. It's helped my friends. And it was just really kind of crazy weird that it's like somebody on the other side of the world is watching me, because I'm a kid from Wyoming. I grew up in this little town in Wyoming and never had the idea that I would be helping people all over the world. But you see, that doesn't happen until you realize what you have actually can really make a difference in people's lives. And that's what we're going to talk about, is like, what is this that you have and how do you use this so that you can make a difference in people's lives? And not just kind of like part-time, but like full on get into it, like full-time, like purpose, mission, like wake up excited, wake up and like be like, whoa, I'm going to serve somebody today. I'm going to help somebody today. Who is it? Like, it's just something you look forward to, not avoid or worry that it might happen again. So today I'm going to walk you through some visuals and also some training here about what's going on. Now, you and I both know the world is just got lots of chaos going on. There are miracles that are happening in this world, but there is also a lot of chaos. And with this chaos that's going on in the world, it is stressing people out. We're talking stress out. We're talking people are literally, it's more than what they know what to do with. They don't know how to cope. They don't know how to handle it. And it's not just the adults. It's affecting the young adults, the teenagers, the kids. It's racking people and wrecking people. And it's really affecting them on the inside. When I say on the inside, it's affecting how people think. It's affecting how people feel. It's affecting what people do. It's affecting those three very important parts of who we are as an individual: what we think, what we feel, and what we do. And ultimately, It's affecting people's thinking so much that it's blocking their thinking, blocking their feelings. Like it's not like it used to be. And then now it's even blocking people from even doing what they want to do. It's as though the turmoil in the world has literally caused people to slow down and some even stop. Now, because people are racked on the inside with what's going on in the world, and they're struggling doing what they know they need to do, they're not able to keep up. It's causing internal problems that they don't know how to cope with, they don't know how to handle. And then what happens is, because it's happening on the inside, it then starts to happen on the outside. Whatever goes on inside of a person will sooner or later come out of the person. And when I say come out, I'm talking like overwhelm them, stress out the parents so they're yelling at their kids. Entrepreneurs are struggling, like they don't take action. We got more and more people slipping into levels of depression, suicide. People can't provide for their families. They're arguing, fighting. The house is staying messy longer than usual. The garage is getting piled up. Men not taking the lead. They're kind of pulling back, kind of like hiding behind their greatness. They're not stepping up. Teens losing belief in themselves. Women maxing out, super sad, lots of sadness. It's affecting the kids and the family. Goal seekers are like losing their grip on how to get goals. And then we got the avoiders. That population is going up and up and up with the avoiders. And then we have people living below their potential. It's like they're not even like, why try? And then we have people who are in relationships that are just really, they're together, but they're not connected. And then we have identity confusion and we have loss of motivation. These are all like what happens because of what's going on inside. Now, I bring all of this up because empaths are people who can help with this. Now, we're not quite sure if you're an empath yet, or maybe you're here because you have a family member you're wanting to understand better. I'll explain that here in just a moment. But empaths have a way of being able to see beyond the surface. And I'll show you what that looks like. And so we need help. The world needs help. The families need help. Couples need help. Entrepreneurs need help. And there's not enough people who are intentionally helping. Okay, now this is going to sound weird, but hear me on this. I had a chat with somebody about 2 weeks ago who said that people are using AI, artificial intelligence, all the chat GBT and all the other artificial intelligence things out there to get help. Like people are turning to computers to help them, not the computer itself, but to turn to the software, the artificial intelligence. It's like, really? We as people are turning to the robots, the computer programs for our solutions in life? How is an AI supposed to have intuition on how to help people? To me, this is the beginning of a whole new problem. When we seek advice from a machine, I don't know how that machine is going to, sure, it will have good answers, but not the intuitive answers. And so I like mark the calendar. We are heading in a direction that people are going to believe that they're getting the deepest help from artificial intelligence. And I'm throwing the warning flag into the middle of the room to say, that's a problem. Sure, it will help people, just like searching the internet, right? The internet has all the answers, right? So, people turn to the internet to find all the answers. They go do searches and then they read a bunch of stuff and they think they have all the answers. So since the internet it's assumed, is supposed to have all the answers. How come we still have so many problems? I mean, here's the list. How come this isn't going away? Why is this list not going away? How come we're not all getting better? If the internet has so many websites and so much there, how come this is all still going on and getting worse? If we have this internet that has all the answers everywhere, it's not solving the problem. The internet is not solving the problem. And AI, artificial intelligence, where's it getting all their information? From everything on the internet. So now it's going to be a voice. We're going to have the internet with a voice, and it's not solving the problem so far. So why is artificial intelligence going to solve all the other problems? It's not. It's a machine. What we need is people. We need people to be helping people. And as soon as we have machines helping people, we're going to have more of the same problems because we have the internet right now and people can look up any answer about anything, and yet it doesn't work. It's not working. Suicide is going up. Divorce is going up. Bankruptcies are going up. People losing their jobs is going up. Family problems are going up. There's so many problems, but it's not being fixed. And so I'm sharing with you, like when I say we need people who can step up and help, it's because we need people helping people. That's what we need. People helping people with their intuitive gifts and talents so that we can be in tune to see into the human soul where there needs to be help. Okay, so why you? Well, you are here, you are watching, you are listening, so you must have some fraction or sliver or a little bit inside of you that you know there's something about you that's different that can help people. You can help. And so, yeah, maybe your life isn't completely put together in all of its pieces, but maybe one of the big important pieces that you haven't put in place is your gift. Maybe that's why it's not holding together. Maybe that's why everything can still have a come apart in your life, is because you're not actually using your gifts and talents. And maybe you just don't know what they are and you don't know how to use them. And that's why this piece just sits over here in the corner. But I'm going to point out to you right now here on this day that if I were you, I would be searching to find what is it about you that can serve and help people in their life, and start to look at wanting to put that piece in its place, because the piece is inside you. It's right there inside you. And like I said, there's avoiders. Because you don't understand it, it's very natural to avoid it. And then when you avoid it, it just sits in the back and you don't use it. And so when you try to put the rest of your life together, and then you feel like there's this hole in the middle, it's because that's where your gift is. It's what you've been given to help other people. And as long as you don't use it or don't apply it or avoid it, you will try to fill your life with a bunch of other stuff, and it won't work because it doesn't fit that spot. I figured this out myself too, is like, wait a minute, maybe I should like really use this and see what happens to my life. And when I started to use my natural gift and talent of helping people, I feel more fulfilled because it fills that hole in the middle of my soul. And when I realized this is what I'm meant to do, and I'm going to do this like full time. I'm not saying you have to do it full time and how to do it. We got to get into what that even looks like. But just so you know, there's a hole in the middle of you if you're not using your gift and talent intentionally and hoping, who could I help today? Who can I work with? Okay, so empaths find the source of problems. When you're an intuitive person, a high level intuitive, like what an empath is, You're able to find the source of problems. And I've been teaching and helping people for years, and also teaching people how to help people. So I've been coaching and teaching and training people for over the last 18 years, like very intentionally, up on stage, teaching people how to use techniques, how to do processes, steps to help themselves and to help other people, to improve communication skills, awareness skills, observation skills, relationships, how to connect more deeply, and even a lot of higher level private training on like, okay, this is how you change the world. This is how you influence the world. But in every single one of these events that I've done over the last 18 years with a live event every month for 18 years, okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. I see what's going on with people. I see what's wrong. I hear their questions. I hear their concerns. I know where people struggle. And it's not just locally. Kim and I have been on TV over 85 times. We have been talking to people all over the place, and the problems are the same. And I know where to help people. So over the years, I've created programs and classes to help people. We have done everything we can so far, and we're still going, right? We've been doing this for over 18 years, and coaching and training, we definitely are a company and people that you can trust, because we are all about serving and working with people at their highest level. We're not just some little company that just started up a couple months ago and we're just trying this. No, we've been doing this for a long time. Now, I was not born this way to do this. I was born a normal kid, right? Normal kid doing my normal thing. In fact, I didn't do very good in school. Anytime I sat down to do my homework, I would just fall asleep. So my grades reflected it. I was not a good learner growing up as a kid. And so it really racked my self-esteem. I was quiet, shy, introvert, couldn't remember things, sat in the back of the class, did things alone, last one picked for kickball. I mean, I figured, okay, this is just who I am. And that means this is how I'm going to be for the rest of my life, right? Like if it's that way when I'm as a kid, oh, that's just what I get, right? That's what it's assumed, is that how we are as a child. Scientists and psychologists have told us for years, is like, oh, as soon as you're 14, 15 years old, that's what you're going to be like for the rest of your life. So I thought the same thing. And I thought, wow, I'm doomed. I'm not good at anything. But the good thing is, along my way, when I started struggling, I really started questioning what's wrong with my head, what's wrong with my thinking, what's wrong with me. And I started having problems so much in my life that I actually, as I had tried to do well, I started slipping and started falling down to the bottom. And I don't know about you, but when you keep making mistakes, it can wear on you and really make you feel down on yourself. And I hit this level of depression 18 years ago, actually about 19 now. 19 years ago, I hit this level of depression and had my wrestle with suicidal thoughts. Like, why even be alive? I mean, everything I did was wrong. Everything I did was bad. And I heard the voices in my head telling me to take my life. I heard that. I saw that. I witnessed that. I experienced that. The pressure of negativity and the devil coming after me saying, you're worthless. You should take your life and be done with this life. Thank goodness I didn't. Thank goodness I stepped out, and there was intervention to help me. And what happened was I started getting some training on negativity and positivity, and where negativity comes from, and what a person can do to raise their level of positivity. And I started learning how to supercharge my mind in a positive way, and also how to work my emotions so that I was in a healthier place. And then also what happened was my actions became supercharged, which started to change me as a person. And as I started to change, It's like, whoa, hold on. I can get myself out of this. I now know how to work on myself. I know how to get myself up to a higher level than I've ever been in my entire life. So even if you hit rock bottom, you can still learn. And I know this. And so if other people hit rock bottom, it's like, hey, you need to know what to do to get yourself out of that, to get yourself out of that plugged up thinking that's going on around the world. It's like it's happening everywhere. And I'm seeing people get shut down. I'm seeing people getting depressed. And I see people who are struggling. And it's like, oh, you need to know. Because when I was wondering what was wrong with me, I was led to find the answer that it has to do with my mind. It has to do with my emotions, and it has to do with my actions, my mind, my emotions, and actions. And when I started applying what I was learning, I got out of my depression and not just back up to where I was, but I just kept going. And it's like, hold on a second. How did me, Kirk Duncan, who failed in school, who introvert, it's like, how did this happen? I changed. I became motivated. I became an extrovert. I became talkative. I became super creative. I'm now the person who stands up in front of the class. In fact, I have an event at my house tonight. We have like 40 or 50 people coming tonight. And I'll be up in front, not in the back. I help others. I teach people all over the world. And it's like, what? You can change? And it's like, yeah, as soon as you understand how the neural pathway works inside your mind, and you understand conscious and subconscious and how emotions work, you can change the direction that you're going, and you can change as a person. So that's why I'm so motivated to make YouTube videos and to be able to do webinars and do classes and coach people and train people. In fact, I leave day after tomorrow to fly to Hawaii for a speaking engagement. I got hired to go to Hawaii to train people. And it's like, okay, let's go. So I believe I can learn new things. And then if I take on that learning and I use it, I've learned that it can work if you are being trained at the core of who we are. The core of who we are is we are creatures that think, and we are creatures that feel, and we are creatures that do. 3 powerful key elements. 3 key elements to create the kind of life and kind of experiences we want to have. And so the way we think, the way we feel, and what we do are super important topics. And that's what I like to train empaths how to help other people improve in. So empaths can see deeper. Now, when I say deeper, this is going to sound really weird. Okay, but hold on a second. So we're going to go to a tree. Here's a tree. Most advice that is given to people is, hey, you need to change your attitude. If you want bigger results, you got to change your attitude. Or, yeah, you got to do something different. Or you got to do more if you want bigger results. And so that's what most people spend their time doing, is working on their attitude and working on their actions. And that's what most people can see because that's above the surface. But an empath, this is the coolest part about empaths. Empaths have the ability to uncover the root system. That's what they can see. Empaths can see below the surface of what's happening to the person, what's going on in the network of the mind. And this is what I love teaching empaths how to do, is how to identify what's happening in the network or the root system of the person that's affecting the attitude or affecting the actions. This to me has been mind-blowing, that I can help people make adjustments in their roots to improve the fruit. The fruit comes from the roots. If the roots are tainted, so will the results be. If the roots are glitched, so will the results. So the root of problems is in the subconscious. This is the subconscious. This is the conscious. I know I just turned a tree into a mind. So there's consciousness of who we are when we're awake and we're alive and we're looking and doing things all day long. But the subconscious is what runs our organs. It's what runs our body. It holds all of our memories, our beliefs, our patterns, our limitations, who we are, who we're not, what we can do, what we can't do. All the rules of life are in the roots of our mind, literally the neural network of our mind. And so empaths have the ability to see deeper than the normal person, but empaths don't know that. Most empaths have no idea that they have that ability, but as soon as they start to see what I'm showing them, it's like, whoa, hold on a second, I get this. And so it's like, I really enjoy, it's more than like, I really enjoy training people how to use their intuitive gift to work with people. Because once you get how to do it, you'll never forget it. So I love helping people to be able to do this, because people today, they do wish that things were better than where they're at, but they get stuck and they don't know why, or they're up against a wall and they don't know why. They don't know why. And so that's where you and I, if you're an empath and you want to understand yourself better, that's why we are so valuable, is because we don't just give surface advice. We work on where the root problem is. And with all of the terrible things that are going on in the world, it's causing other people to have their deep down issues come to the surface. The problems in the world are pushing on people and squeezing people, and all their internal issues are coming to the surface. And so all this stuff's not going to go away. I mean, the world is in a terrible place right now, and it's not going to get fixed tomorrow. We got a long ways to go before any of this is ever going to get fixed. And so people are going to continue to have issues, and they're going to continue to have mind blocks. They're going to continue to get blocked on what they're doing, and their emotions are going to get stirred up, messy, and triggered. And so the world is heading towards a lot of issues. That's why we need people who have intuitive gifts to step up and be confident and to know what to do to help other people. Okay, so that's my call to arms. That's my get up here. Let's do something. Let's make this happen. And so if you had a childhood where you were shy and introvert and you're like, oh, I'm going to be like this for the rest of my life, and Kirk, I got something wrong with me, and Kirk, I'm in the pits or I'm struggling, I hear you. But you need training. You need to understand yourself so you can actually learn how to get yourself out of here, so you can get yourself up to a higher ground, so you can serve others who are back here, either falling or have hit rock bottom or are struggling somewhere, so that you can get them on the same path. But the first thing I want to put into your head is that you can change. Believe me, if I can change, I'm a pretty simple guy. If I can change, you can change. So literally my journey, my mess has become my message. I have this trail and path of challenges, and then I find what to do, and then I start to use it, and I start to change. And then my intuitive side really kicks in. And now I help people change their subconscious so that they can have a vision and have goals on their wall of what they want to work on and be able to accomplish them. So this is what I do. I teach others how to do better so they can be better. That's what I do. I love this. I love this. Now, something you ought to do, if you have not done this yet, you need to subscribe to my weekly newsletter. It's a weekly newsletter. It comes out every Tuesday. It's 2 decades of experience you can digest in 2 minutes every Tuesday. And so go here, 3ke.2/how to coach. Go here, subscribe to this. Even if you are not a life coach or mentor or teacher, and you don't have to be. This is how to help somebody else. If you are a parent, you are coaching your kids. If you have a team, you are coaching that team. You don't have to be a life coach only. It says how to coach. So it's how to help other people get through their stuff, get moving forward, what to do next. And so every single week, there are gold boulders shared, not just gold nuggets. We're talking gold boulders shared every Tuesday. And it's super easy to read, quick to digest, very inspiring, worth your time opening that email every single Tuesday so I can help you. This is free. There's no cost at all. Totally free. Go here, 3ke.2/how to coach. And it looks like Adam just put that in the chat. Just click it and subscribe. And then pass it along to other parents, to other people who have teams, other people who are trying to help others so that I can share some wisdom with them of my 18, 19 years of experience that as actually coaching people, because I've learned a lot. And just so you know, it comes from a very high level of spiritual awareness and very high level of intuitive, and just also it also touches in the area of what's below the surface. Because if you're gonna fix a problem, you got to work on the roots. Because when you go out in the flower bed and the yard and you rip off that weed and it breaks right here, the roots are still there. It's just going to grow back. It's just going to come back. Have you ever heard somebody say, "Oh, I tried that, but it still came back"? Yeah, because they're trying to solve their problem with a surface rip instead of a root change. You can't just rip off the top and think that's going to fix you. You want to get root guidance. That's what you want. If you want things to truly change, and I got to say, that's what made a big difference for me as a person, is as my life began to change, is because I was working on my roots, not the surface issues. That's such a huge, huge difference. And so in your personal life, if you got issues that are just not going away, you're ripping it off at the top, thinking you're doing the work that it takes. There's root work to be done. Oh, so Kirk, are you a therapist? No, I'm a life coach. Are you a counselor? No, I'm a life coach. I teach people skill. They use the skill. I'm a coach. I teach them how to do something, and then they do it. And then when you do it, it works. And then it works, and then you change. So I don't do it for you. I teach you the life skill required to be able to change at a root level. I love this. And so as an empath, I also have that extra advantage of being intuitive as I do this. And what intuitive means, it means to be able to narrow in on where the problem really is. And that's what an AI computer can't do. People are going to think it can, but us as people, we have a whole new level of intuition that it goes way beyond computers. So I'm going to tell you, with the whole computer thing going on in the world and the AI software, it's like, oh my goodness. I know it's not software, it's another type of programming, but I'm telling you, people are going to rely on it and they're not going to fix the roots, and people are going to still have issues. And that's just sad. It's really sad. So we can help people go from confusion and wandering all over the place to actually being organized and getting to where they really want to go in life. That's what we can do as empaths. Now let's talk about empath. Okay, we're going to get into it now. Okay, so an empath, but first I need to give you a little bit of background of how this works. Now, I usually get teased that I spend way too much time talking about how it works, but I don't know what you know and what you don't know. So I got to start from the beginning so you get it, because I only have so much time with you, and I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to share with you again. So I got to make sure you get this on the first go. Okay, so here we go. Every person has a personal space. It's this energy or space around the person. Some people's personal space is tiny. Some people's personal space is huge. Everybody has different size of personal space, and it just depends on how the person functions and what they do and how they think and what they're doing at their personal space. But everybody has personal space. Now, what is it? That's the funny thing, is people are like, what? Okay, so what is my personal space? Well, it's some kind of border. It's a boundary. It's something really fascinating, because like if you're sitting on the couch and somebody comes up and sits right next to you, you might find yourself thinking, okay, you're in my space. So what does that mean when we're like in somebody's space? That means you're in their space. Like it's a real thing. If somebody's personal space was like this, oh, I'm not in their space. But as soon as I step here, it for some reason gets uncomfortable, depending on the person. But it's like, now I'm in their space. So there's something around us, and I'm going to call it energy. And what is energy? It's the thoughts and emotions of the person that come out of the person's body. I know, hold on, just let that sink in for a second. The space around a person is what is inside the person, which is thoughts and emotions. So inside of a person are thoughts and emotions. Thoughts and emotions mixed together create a presence. A presence. So this is a person's presence. It's their energy around them. If you've ever stepped close to a person, you can feel their energy, or feel their mood, or feel their attitude, whatever word you want to use to describe the combined feeling of their thoughts and emotions. If somebody's really sad and you're approaching them, sooner or later, you can feel that they're sad. Or you can feel that they're happy, or you can feel that they're angry, or you can feel whatever they're feeling, because what they feel is inside their body. But what they feel inside their body doesn't stay in their body. And you write that down. I encircle it like 20 times. What goes on inside a person's body does not stay in their body. It comes out. It comes out of their body. This is so funny and so fascinating that people don't get this, because this is a really big deal when it comes to empaths. And you'll see how this connects in just a moment. So our thoughts and emotions mix together inside of our body. What we think and what we feel mix. And that mixture comes out of our body. And then that then comes out from us. And then depending on how strong that thought and feeling mixture is, depends on how far it reaches. That's why people have different size of personal space. And their personal space could be really big, really small. It depends on the intensity of those thoughts and feelings that come out. Now, another word to describe this is a person's vibe, or the vibration that comes from the person. So another way to describe those thoughts and feelings that are mixed together, that are radiating out from a person, they call it a vibration, a feeling, a mood, an attitude that comes from a person. Okay, now remember what I just said. Thoughts and feelings that are mixed together. Thoughts and feelings mixed together come out of the person. So that means this space is full of thoughts and full of feelings. Thoughts and feelings that are outside their body. It's not just in their head. It's not just in their skull. It's not just in their chest. But 99 out of 100 people will tell you their thoughts and feelings stay in their body. Okay. But they were never educated, they were never trained, they were never made aware that attitude and mood that we feel from people is thoughts and feelings that are mixed together into a mixture. And then that mixture then comes out of the body, and you can call it attitude, mood, vibe, personal space, whatever you want to call it. But the origin of that substance is thoughts and feelings that are mixed together. So then what's that tell you? So then around the person, outside their skin, in the air around them are their thoughts. And it's a vibe. It's a vibration. It's a radio signal. It's a signal coming off of their body that includes thoughts and feelings of this person and how they felt yesterday and the day before and last month and last year. All of their thoughts and all of their feelings from all of their life come out of their body. Not just today, not just right now. All of their history comes out of their body. All of their thoughts, all of their feelings come out of their body into their personal space. Everything comes out of the body with thoughts and feelings, and they can't stop it. So the history of a person is not locked inside the person. It's around the person. It's in them, it's around them, and it's radiating out from them 24/7, constantly. Every person's thoughts and feelings are around them. Okay, so over here, we're going to have two people. This person is an empath, and I'm going to just change the color. This person will make them green. And this is a normal person. This is an empath person. So the empath person, when they step into a person's space or touch their space or tune into their space, an empath can interpret that information. When I say information, I'm talking information. And that's going to be, let's see here. How do I do this? That's going to be this I. How do I make that show up? Hold tight. Here's like, I'm going to figure this out. Let's go orange. Okay, so that is information. So this information that the person thinks is only inside their head and inside their body is all over the place. An empath can sense that. So the empath tunes into that. An empath now can understand this person before the person even says a word. This person is going to filter what they say. They're not going to share everything that's happened to them in all their life and what they truly feel, what they truly think. They will not say it. People don't say how they truly think and how they truly feel, but the information around them does. So an empath will listen to a person, but is paying more attention to the messages that are in the information that is around the person in their space. Now, this person, if they stepped into the person's personal space, they got nothing. All they listen to is what the person says. And they truly believe only what the person says. And they think that what a person says is accurate. They think what a person says is like all the information. But an empath knows it's not. An empath knows this person is filtering, holding out information, leaving out details, changing the story. So an empath can find the truth of what's going on. A normal person listens to what a person says and believes it. So they have fragmented information that is incorrect, that is missing details, and it's been mostly built and configured to talk to this particular person. And so that's the difference between an empath and a normal person, is how they tune into a person. Now, maybe this person is a good listener. Maybe they're listening. But on a general basis, people have pretty terrible listening skills. So now we even have a terrible listener who doesn't even get all the fragmented pieces that the person says. So this person changes the details. This person doesn't listen very well. And now we have humanity right now. Very fragmented, very broken up communication. No wonder there's so much stress. No wonder there's so many problems. No wonder there's so many arguments. No wonder there's so many issues between people, and people being triggered is because the communication is so messy. But an empath listens to what a person says, but tunes in to the truth of what goes going on with the person. Now, an empath who knows they're an empath will intentionally gather more information so that they can help this person, and is listening not just with their ears, but with their eyes, with their senses, their feelings, with everything they have. They are gathering information on this person. Now, if you don't know that you have an empath ability, you will feel overwhelmed with everybody's information that is coming to you, and you don't know what to do with it. You don't know what this is. It's like, how come I'm feeling sad? How come I'm so upset? How come I feel confused? And it's all this information from this person. And so an empath can literally feel like they have multiple personalities, because they're picking up on other people's information and they think it's their thoughts. They think it's their emotions, but it's not. They're picking up on all these other people. And this is just one person. What if we put a bunch of people around this empath? This empath could feel overwhelmed instantly and confused in their feelings and confused in their thinking, because they have information coming from all these people. And because they got all this information, they've lost who they are. They literally can lose their own identity because they don't know who they are, because they are so sensitive to the people around them. And they have a mixed personality now because of information from all these other people. And that's only 4 people. Walk through a store, go to an event. This is why empaths get overwhelmed around groups of people, is because they don't know how to manage this information. And most empaths just absorb it. And they think it's them. Like they have no idea what's going on with them. And I feel so bad for empaths who don't understand that they're empaths. And the only way they can explain is that they're overwhelmed and they're confused and they feel disorganized. When I hear those 3 words, I'm like, oh, you're probably an empath. Overwhelmed, confused, and unorganized. And it's like, well, you're probably a level of an empath. When I say level, there's different levels. Like there's not just one level. There's different levels depending on, what your level of connection is with people. If your connection is high, you pick up on more information. If your connection is low, you pick up on little bits of information. So there's different levels of connection as an empath, but either way, it's just fascinating how this works. Fascinating. And I'm going to go through this a little bit more detail here in just a moment. But this is the main part, though, is that people's information that's inside of them doesn't stay inside of them. It just doesn't. Thoughts and emotions and memories, intelligence is information. Information doesn't just sit in our head. Information travels to the outside of us, from the inside to the outside. Information is always traveling between people. Information is constantly being exchanged. You can't stop this from happening. You can learn how to tune into it. And so the information coming from people, it's a real thing. And so what happens is people who are high senses have high senses or high sensibility, empaths are tuned into this information that are transmitted from other people. So if this person is an empath, they have a way of tuning in to this information and going, oh, I get you. I understand you. And so the reason why this is so powerful is because common people listen to only the words people say to get information. Empaths listen with their eyes, their senses. They have a higher level of accuracy of what's going on with this person. And remember that other people, they will edit what they say. What people say is not accurate. It's not. You want to become a really good listener and listen to people these days because it's so jarbled and so gummed up and so edited. You want to listen because you need to ask a bunch of questions to people when you're listening to them because they don't really say all the information. That's why I think it's so powerful and so cool to be an empath. So empaths have a way of being able to pay attention to people's words, their thoughts, their tone, their energy, their body language, their behavior. Empaths can understand others in an instant and with more accuracy. It's the beautiful part about being an empath or having a friend as an empath is because if you're working on something that is a problem, they can get to the root of the problem so quickly. Where other people, you talk to other people who are not empaths, and sure, they may be listening, but you know the advice is going to be surface. Nothing wrong with it. It's just that if you have a problem that's below the surface and it's an ongoing problem, you want to work with somebody who's an empath because they will dive deep to where it really is coming from. I hope this is making sense. Tell me in the chat if I'm going too fast, if it makes sense or what's going on here. So empaths work best when they are open, right? When they can openly receive and openly connect. Is making sense? Okay. So empaths work best when they are open to receive. But what happens is an empath can get shut down. So empaths actually, funny thing is, empaths struggle with anger, sadness, and hurt, and feeling stupid. I know. And empaths get frustrated really easy. And when empaths get triggered with these emotions, what happens is they shut down. And now they can't connect. So empaths actually slip into types of anxiety and types of depression really fast because they can help other people, but they don't spend time working on themselves. And that's where I was. You know, I was telling the story where I hit rock bottom. It's because I was so emotional and so heavy with emotions. I didn't know how to take care of myself. And that's when I went to go to classes and seminars to learn. I needed to learn how to get rid of all these heavy emotions and all this stuff because I could help other people, but I didn't know how to help myself. And when I started to do that, I started up this amazing path of feeling clear and focused and doing a good job and being able to be in tune with people because my empath gift had shut down. And when an empath shuts down, they get tired. They don't want to talk. They eat everything. Salty, crunchy, savory, and sugary. Just rotate it. Crunchy, salty, savory, and sugary. Just boom, 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 over and over and over again because they're trying to use food to numb the emotions. That's what empaths don't realize is like, yeah, when you got munchies for salty, sugary, crunchy, or savory, is because you got emotions that you most likely picked up from other people that you've got to get out of you because you're using food to try to numb these and you're trying to get back to being open where happiness is. An empath that is connected and working with people is a happy empath. But an empath that is shut down because they're stored up with emotion, they slip into depression. They don't talk. They don't want to be around people. And this is some of our teenagers. There are so many teenagers that are intuitive, that are literally borderline or even empaths that are shut down because they don't know how to handle their emotions. And they're not just their own emotions. They got emotions from other people and they don't know how to get them out. And because these teenagers are not being taught how to manage their emotions, they're heavy with emotions from other people and their own emotions. And so they shut down, they cut people off, they block relationships, they won't let people get close to them. That's what's going on with teenagers. It's emotions. They need help with emotions. They need emotional management training. And they need to know where these emotions are coming from and also how to move them out of their body. Teenagers need help with emotions, and so do men. Men are actually, you read psychology and you study what the psychologists are saying about men. Men are actually more emotional than women. Yeah, I've read this whole thing and I should have the article. I knew it. I knew I should have kept the article that they found that men are actually more emotional than women, but they don't talk about it. They don't share it. Men move a lot of energy through them, just a lot of energy, but they don't talk about it and it gets backed up. And when men, any person, men, women, teenagers, whoever it is, that when the emotions get backed up, the person shuts down or they get super critical or they get loud and they yell a lot. But when somebody's not neutral, it's because of backed up emotions. And guess what empaths are really good at? Empaths are really good at getting underneath the surface to find where's the emotions, what's going on underneath. That's what empaths are really good at. That's why if you have a little bit of empath inside of you, it's like, wow, what could happen if you got training on how to do this? You could help so many people. So when empaths don't get to use their gift because they're blocked and shut down, they can slip into depression. Not can, they will. It's just they just feel like they're worthless, like they can't do anything because they're not using their gift. And they literally feel really down about themselves because they're not connected to people. This is real. It's absolutely real. Another thing that happens to empaths is that they are way too open for information from many different people. And what happens is when there's too many people that they're connected to, it overwhelms their senses and they literally feel crazy. Like there's something wrong with their head. Their thoughts are all over the place. And they can't think, they can't focus. And to get away from this, they got to go do some kind of activity like play video games or go binge watch social media or binge watch, videos but they go and they consume themselves with something else to distract them from the confusion that's coming to them from so many different sources. And what I suggest to empaths is that you have to train yourself that information comes to the edge of your personal space. It comes to the edge, not all the way in. And this is a visual training. Like right here, take this picture. Take that picture. You tell your brain every morning when you wake up while looking at this picture, I'm open to being connected to people, but their information stops at the edge of my personal space. It does not come in unless I want it. You have to retrain your brain to stop the information on the edge of your personal space. Now, remember, your brain runs this personal space. It runs it. And if you've never told it how to manage your personal space, then your personal space is wide open. And there's all kinds of people's information just coming in, and it's just getting dumped on you constantly, which is causing you to feel confused, which is causing you not to be able to focus, which is depleting your motivation because you have not calibrated your personal space by telling your brain what you want and what you don't want. This personal space has to be calibrated, which means defined. And the information coming in has to be decided if it can freely come in as much and as often as it wants to, or do you govern it and manage it? So I learned the hard way that I need to calibrate my personal space by saying information can come to me from other people, but it comes to the edge of my personal space until I allow it to come in. That way, my personal space can be my thoughts and emotions. My thoughts and emotions, not everybody else's. I don't want everybody else's stuff in my space because then I can't think. I can't focus. I can't get stuff done. I feel completely messy. And then my house will be a mess because I'm a mess. I mean, the reason why a person is a mess in their life around them is because on the inside, their personal space is a mess. What we are is what we do. What we are is what we do. So if we're messy inside our personal space or in our head or in our heart, it will show on the outside. We'll have piles that don't get addressed, piles that are not cleaned up. It's not the kid's fault. It's not your spouse's fault. Your internal world causes your external world to be the way it is. So right now, take a picture of this and you decide today you're going to calibrate your personal space and define your boundaries for other people's information so that your personal space can be your thoughts, your emotions, so you can be in your power, so you can live your potential. Because if you let everybody else in, it will dilute who you are. It will dilute you. You will feel thin. You will thin as in like you don't have much strength. I better say weak. You will feel weak if you let everybody else's information in whenever it wants. Now, if you have a child who's constantly overwhelmed or a teenager who's just like, oh my goodness, everything's so terrible. They have not calibrated their personal space. And again, what you do is you take a picture of this, and every morning when you wake up and every night when you go to bed, you sit here and look at the picture and you tell your brain, I'm calibrating my space, that other people's information only comes to the edge and it does not come in until I ask for it. But inside my space is only me. And if you want God to be in there, have God be in there too. But make sure whatever is in your personal space is what you want in there. Because if you don't clean up your personal space, you will get messy, and so will your calendar get messy, and so will your home get messy, and so will your relationships get messy because you have a messy personal space. That's how it works. It's kind of like gravity. You can not want to agree, but it's still going to happen. You can hate this process and go, I don't like it. I think Kirk's just making stuff up. I don't care what you think. It's just what happens. But you try to solve your messy problem another way, and you've tried, and it hasn't worked. You try to solve your overwhelm another way, and notice you can't. You can't solve your overwhelm. And you're like, why am I always overwhelmed? Why am I always frustrated? And what I'm doing right now is I am uncovering the root issue. I've been training on this for 18 years, so I know this is what's going on. And when you reach your maximum capacity, you know what you do? You eat, or you go to sleep, or you do things you regret later. When you're maxed out, you yell at your kids, you yell at your spouse, and then you don't like yourself later. Or you implode, shut down, hate God, hate the world, hate your life, and then probably you'll have suicidal thoughts. And then you'll hear the devil knocking on your brain saying, hey, you should die. You should end your life. It'll solve everything. And it's like, no. You calibrate your personal space. Nobody taught you this. It's not in a book anywhere that says, oh, by the way, you should calibrate your personal space because your thoughts and emotions should fill up this space, but it's not. And you're being literally cluttered by everybody else is because you have a high sensibility. Yeah, where's the pamphlet that taught you that? It's not out there. It's not out there. And so another thing to be careful of is the movies you watch, the music you listen to, because that gets in your personal space. Because when it gets in your head and it gets in your heart, it fills up your space. So whatever you're watching, whatever you're listening to, it's not just for that one moment. It then fills up your personal space. And then now it affects you for days and weeks and months and years. It affects you. What goes in your head, what goes in your heart, what goes in there, those ears, those eyes, that mouth, whatever goes in there, it stays in your personal space for a long time. It does. So be careful with your personal space. And remember, your personal space is your thoughts and emotions mixed together to create that substance, that vibration, that energy that then fills up your personal space. So if I were you, I would be feeding or learning or studying things that you want to have in your personal space. What do you want to fill your space up with? Then that's what you watch. That's what you listen to. That's what you study. That's what you think. That's what you feel. And that's why I suggest to people to always have a vision board. Fill your personal space with belief and faith. Use declarations. Fill your personal space with powerful language, positivity, belief, optimism. And that's where motivation comes from, is because your space is filled with that type of high-level energy. If we feel low on motivation, it's because our personal space is full of garbage. We don't feel like moving when we have garbage in us, around us. That's why we got to fill it up. Fill it up, fill it up, fill it up every single day. This is so good. I love talking about this. I love bringing this to the attention so that you can see, like, wow, what is happening? So let's go back to the empath. This is you. You're tuning in to somebody and they're saying stuff, but you're picking up on a different message. You're picking up on a message like, wait a minute, what this person is saying is different than what I'm feeling from them. Which one do you follow? See, now this is where trust in your empath gift really matters, because you're going to feel like, wait a minute, maybe they're right and I'm wrong. And that's where I was for years. I was like, wow, maybe I'm wrong, because I'm picking up on something from this person that's not what they're saying. Like, this person's talking a certain way, but I'm like, no, no, something's up here. And it's like, do I call it out? Do I say something? What do I do with this information? How do I handle this? Like, I get something else. And I've had people say to me, oh, Kirk, I got this challenge and I got this problem, and I'm gonna put this right here. This problem, Kirk, I got this problem, and I know how to fix it, and this is how I'm gonna fix it. And then I get a different signal, like, no, that's not really the problem. It's something else. Now I'm like challenging what the person's saying. And the person's looking at me going, what do you mean it's something else? It's like, yeah, it's something else. Because see, 99 out of 100 people barely pay attention to themselves in this area. They barely pay attention. Self-observance is not high on people's list of abilities. Okay, so remember that people's self-observance, like, self-awareness, is just not that high. And so when they have a problem, and this problem is going on in their life and it's causing a glitch and they're trying to fix it, they don't know to look down here. People barely pay attention to themselves, because you know why? You know what people usually do? People usually blame someone else, because that's all that makes sense. Is it can't be me, it's got to be you. Yeah, it's my kids, it's my boss, it's my neighbor, It's my spouse. It's God. Oh yeah, God. God's not doing his job. It's the government. Oh yeah, it's the government. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They're going to find somebody else to blame because they can't find it on them. They can't find it. And so since people don't know how to look, they're like, since I can't find it in me, well, then that makes it you as the problem. And so that's a big issue in this world today, is that people don't know how to find their own issues. And so since they can't find it, they blame somebody else. And then they hold to that story that their spouse needs to change. Their kids need to change. Their boss needs to change. Their job needs to change. They got to change all this stuff around them. But the real issue is inside them. But because they can't look inside because they never were trained in all of schooling, public schooling, they don't teach self-awareness of thoughts and emotions and how to change them. Why is that? I ponder that question a lot. Why are the 3 key elements of thoughts, emotions, and actions not taught in grades 1 through 12? Interesting, isn't it? Self-awareness of the 3 things that literally determine our life for the rest of our life. So because the person can't figure out what's going on with them, the only other option they have is to blame somebody else. And then they hold to that blame. And then that's just the blame game. And that is publicly accepted. And it's publicly spread around of who's at fault. So when someone says to you, oh, I know what the problem is. I know what I'm doing. No, they don't. They don't know how to fix it. 9 out of 10 people don't know how to fix their own problems. They don't even know what the problem is. They don't know what the real root problem is. So as an empath, what I'm helping you see here is trust your intuition. Trust your intuition of what you are picking up on. That is really what the problem is, because they don't know. That's my approach. I'm not calling people stupid. I just don't believe that they're fully connected and they fully understand what's going on under the surface. It's not a blame to them. I've figured this out over 18 years. So whatever somebody else thinks the problem is, I'll listen to them and hear them out and go as far as they're going to share with me and listen to their blame games. And then when they ask me what I think, most likely my answer or my point of view is going to come from a whole different angle, something they've never thought about and they have never heard of. They never looked at it this way. And so as an empath, what's happening is you go to open your mouth and the person is probably not going to agree with you or not understand you. And so it could make you feel like you're wrong. And this is the very important part. Just because they don't know what it is doesn't mean you're wrong. It doesn't mean you're wrong. They don't do self-awareness all day long. They don't dig into their root system. They don't search their subconscious all day long. That's a very, very, very rare breed of people. That's like the 1 out of the 10, right? It's even less than that. It's like 2% of people actually do self-awareness and work on themselves with personal improvement. It really is. That's a true fact. It's actually 1.7%. 1.7% of people actually do self-improvement on an ongoing basis. Unless you're in a circle of people or a bunch of personal development people, then it seems like everybody does it. But the whole world, it's like 1.7% of people are constantly, daily working on personal improvement, setting goals, and also working with their limiting beliefs and emotional management. So it's a really high chance of the other 98.3% of people who don't know what they're actually talking about. They're just going to really work on giving you a surface answer or reason, but there's something deeper that you will sense, and they will actually challenge you. Just so you heads up, they'll challenge you like, I don't think that's it. And you're like, well, I appreciate your comment, but I think we need to explore this. This is the confidence I had to build for me to be able to hold my ground and say, thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your comments, but I think we need to explore this. Oh, I don't think that's it. Yeah, we're going to go there. So here's something, and I hope this is making sense to you. The tree and the root system look similar, right? They look similar. But once you follow a result that's not good, you follow that result back. When you get underground, there's no leaves. It's roots. So even though they're similar, like there's branches up here and there's branches down here, it's a different world underground, underneath the surface. So what causes the problem on the surface is what's going on down here could be something completely different than what it looks like up here. So let me give you an example. If somebody is struggling with money, okay, let's say somebody's struggling with money and they're struggling and they don't have much money. You would think that you need to look at your money problems. But underneath the surface, it's all about personal value. It's personal opinions that affect money. And so when I say that to people like, oh, you want me to help you with your money issues? Okay, let's talk about your thoughts about you. And they say, no, I need to talk about money. And I said, that's not what causes money problems. What causes money problems is your opinion about yourself. And they're like, wait, that's not the same. I know. But that's what is causing the problem. Personal value issues then cause you to not handle things that are very well, that are of value. Your time, your money, your health. And so this is the part about being an empath that where you're going to stand out. Because what they think they should work on, like, oh, if I have a money problem, I should work on money. That's what 98.3% of people think is like, oh, whatever the problem is, that's what I got to work on. But empaths, we open up the thinking to the root issue of what it is. And if you don't know how to do this yet, I can train you on how to do this, on how to look for the root issue. There's like a whole process. There's like it's step by step by step to find the root issue. But you can get to the root issue so that you can find what really needs to be worked on. And this explains why people can't fix their own problems that are ongoing over and over and over again, is because they're trying to solve it on the surface, not in the roots. Like, for example, I had this time in my life that we were struggling a lot financially. And I had been doing some training and a lot of self-improvement and self-awareness work and working on my subconscious. And within about 4 months, Kim and I went from like no money and struggling for a long time. And within 4 months, we got to the point where we were doing really, really, really well. And I pull up to the house because I wanted a truck because I like going camping, I like going fishing. And I pulled up with a truck and a fishing boat one day in the front of my house. And my neighbor came outside and all he knew is we were struggling, right? But there was this dramatic change that happened because I had unlocked my subconscious problems about money. I'd unlocked it and things were just changing really fast. And I pulled up with this truck and this boat. And my neighbor was outside mowing his lawn, and he comes over and he looks at me and he goes, okay. And he literally says to me, he goes, for somebody who's struggling, this is a lot of payments. I mean, how much are you going to pay in payments for this? And I said, what do you mean? And he goes, boy, this is probably like $500 a month. And that's probably $400 a month. Like, you added $1,000 worth of payments. I said, actually, no, I didn't. And he goes, okay, so you're still struggling. I said, no, actually, I'm not. And he goes, no, you've been struggling for a long time. I go, yep, I changed. And he goes, wait, you were just struggling just yesterday. I said, well, some things have happened the last couple of months. And he goes, what? How'd you do that? And before he said how, he says, what? That really happened? I said, yeah. And both of these were paid with cash. Like, they're paid for. And he was like, what? How'd you do that? And I said, you get in here. You got to change things inside your head. And he tried to listen, but he was not in a place of really listening to all my long explanation of how to do it. But it can be shocking what happens. Okay, so the reason why I'm telling you this is because as an empath, we get to trust ourselves about our point of view about what really needs to be worked on. And when people challenge you and they're like, I don't know if that's what we need to work on, it doesn't mean back off. It means you hold your ground and say, well, how about we explore this? That's a really good word to use, explore. And how about we explore this? And they're going to still be cautious and like, what? Nobody's ever talked about this. Nobody's ever brought this up before. But you are bringing a brand new, fresh angle. You just think differently than other people. You're just different. You don't have the same advice as other people. You have a different way of looking at things. And you might be the only person in the room who has that point of view. And it's okay. And when everybody looks at you like you're the weirdo in the room, you get to stand there and smile like, yep, I see things differently. And to be able to share your opinion and not to take over the room and to take over people's points of view, but to add yours to what has been shared or to add yours to whatever somebody else has already learned. But to be able to be the kind of person that you're there to help, you're there to assist, you're there to do your part. If you're a bold bully as an empath, you're obnoxious. And I've seen empaths that are obnoxious, and it's like, what are you doing? And people won't listen to that person. I've seen them, and it's like, man, you're a good person, but nobody wants to listen to somebody who's so obnoxious with their empath ability, because you can really get cocky with this. Like, and people don't know. We're not here to put people down. We're not here to say their advice doesn't work. Their advice works. Ours might add a little bit more to it, but we're not here to be cocky. We're not here to override everybody else. We're here to share the way we see it and what we see. And if you can keep that type of mental attitude that I'm part of the solution, that it's going to be from a different angle, you'll find yourself keeping your confidence. You'll find yourself gathering people around you who listen to you, who want to learn from you, and they come to you for help. And that's a beautiful thing when they come to you. And when their friend says, hey, go talk to this person because they can help you. When they refer people to you, that's a good thing too. It's just really cool to be able to use your empath gift to be able to make a difference in people's lives. But remember the whole cocky part. If you catch yourself ever starting to be cocky or look at people as being lower than you or their opinions are less than yours, you get to check your ego at the door and know that we all play a piece in helping people solve problems and challenges in their life and help them get where they want to go. But watch out for the cocky side. Don't go there. Don't be that way. Check yourself at the door with that. It's not good for them. It's not good for you. And then people just stay away from you. I've seen people who are life coaches who are actually obnoxious because they literally put down other people's opinions. They put down what other people teach, and they raise themselves so high. And you know what that means, right? They have low self-esteem. Anytime somebody has to put somebody else down, they have self-esteem issues because they have to put other people down so that they can feel so much higher. It's like, what are you doing? This isn't high school, or is it high school? Are we still doing high school where we got to put other people down and be the top person in the class? You don't have to do that. So watch out for putting other people down. Don't do that. Watch out for being cocky, because once you start to realize how much you can help, you might unconsciously do that, and not good. And if somebody else is giving advice, don't put their advice down. Add what you have to what they have. Make it a great mix, you and them and their advice, so that you can help this other person. And if you meet someone who has worked with other people, don't put those other people down. Don't put their techniques down. Don't put their processes down. Don't put their coaching program or their education system down. That helped them. Every bit of advice helps. Everything helps. And so do your part. Trust your intuition. Practice trusting your intuition. It's a practice, meaning open your mouth and share what came to you. Share your ideas, share what came to you, but don't shove it down people's throats. Don't do that. Share. Maybe they're ready to hear it. Maybe they're not ready to hear it. But at least open up and share. And you might find you tend to shock people because it comes from a whole different way of thinking. I was at a class and I had raised my hand and shared some thoughts. And afterwards, this guy walks up to me and he goes, "You're different." And I said, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, you're different." Okay, is that bad or good? And he goes, "I don't know yet. You just have a different way of looking at things." He goes, "Whenever we're all talking," he goes, "you raise your hand. It's like, okay, what's he going to say now? You just are different." I go, "Yep, I just am different in how I look at things and where I go to think about them in my head." And he did say, he goes, "I like your comments." He goes, "But it kind of rattles my thinking." And so when I hear that, I have to check myself, because I have this like hair trigger of tendency of like, oh, I got to pull back because I'm different. Oh no, I'm rocking the boat. Oh no, I'm being somebody out of the normal conversation. But I'm confident, and I continue to learn that my opinion adds another point of view. And if I don't open my mouth and I don't share, I could lose that trust and confidence in myself. I could lose it. I've lost it before, earlier in my life, and that was a yucky place. But now I open my mouth and I share, and I'm gentle, and I'm what do you call it? Tactful. Yeah, I was going to say tactful, tactful in sharing. Not to be higher than somebody, not to be better than somebody, but to share. At least open my mouth so I can build that trust in myself. So as you are discovering yourself as an empath and like, wow, what can you do? You have a higher sense ability. That's what it is. For some reason, your listening skills, your senses, your way of hearing and gathering information about people is at a high level. And you could be blamed for being overly sensitive. You could. Okay. So you sense things at a high level. It doesn't make you better than everybody else. It's just a part that you play in life. It's who you are. And so when you activate this gift to help other people solve problems or help them live their potential, you probably are going to get pretty excited about it, feel really good about it. Because the more you use this, you'll see in other people's lives what it can do. It's awesome. Because people today struggle, they wrestle, they have their things that they've been trying to fix for years. And then you come along and you unravel them. And when you see that opportunity they have to be able to be better, do better, feel better, and have these improvements, it's exciting. It's rewarding. It's like fulfilling, so fulfilling to see that difference happen in people's lives. So something you might want to consider is like getting organized. Like, get going with this. Like, you're here, you're getting inspired to like how you could help people. I don't know who it's going to be, but maybe there's like some wisdom or advice that you've been giving already, and you tend to like say the same thing over and over and over again to other people. And it's like, wow, I'm giving the same advice again. That turns into like your message, or your, just the way you talk, the way you, and what you talk about. But things that you repeat from one person to the next, or the same kind of advice comes out, or the same kind of instruction, that ends up being like a way to call it is like your message. And there are people all over the world you could help, like all over the world. I mean, with the internet these days, with how you can make a recording and put it on the internet, people can find you from all over the place. There was one night I was on Facebook and I was just doing some stuff, and this message pops up, and it says lady, and she says, "Hey, thank you. You really helped me be a better mom with my son." And I responded back and said, "Hey, you're welcome. What did you learn and what did you find?" And she says, "I found your YouTube channel, 3 key elements." And she goes, "I've been watching YouTube videos and it's helped me be a better mom." And I was like, "That's awesome. Where do you live?" She goes, "Oh, I live in Iraq." I was like, "What? That's on the other side of the world." And we chit-chatted for a while. And I was like, "How did you find my channel?" And she goes, "It popped up. It popped up." And she says, it popped up. I watched one of your videos. I started watching more of them. And I was like, "Well, that's awesome. I'm glad I could help you as a mom." It was just so cool. And I made a video and I shared some of my insight to the camera. And then she watched the video, and then it helped her. When I say you can help people, it can be somebody literally in your neighborhood. It could be somebody in your family, somebody at work, somebody you meet at the grocery store, or it could be somebody online. It could be people anywhere. But maybe what if in going with this and like really intentionally wanting to help people, what if you did get a little bit organized? Like you started taking notes of wisdom you see to share with people, or ideas you share with people. And it's like, whoa, that was good. I should write that down. Because what will happen is you'll go to help someone, you're going to get inspired, and you're going to get insight to how to help this person. And then what if you did write it down afterwards? Took some notes. Hey, I talked to this person today and this is what came out, and I was helping them, and this was so cool. I figured out how to help them, and I didn't know, but it came to me, and wow, that was awesome. What if you journaled it just a little bit? Just write down some notes, like get a journal on your computer or a little book, and you write down some of the things you are sharing with people and how you're problem solving with people. That could become something. You see how this is a book? Maybe it could become some wisdom messages you share on social media, or it could become a book, or maybe your advice could turn into a training guide or a program. I know it's kind of stretching your thinking here, but I just want to just kind of open up your head, because if you help one person with that one problem, there are 10,000 other people with the same problem. You help this one person with that one problem, there are 10,000 other people around the world who could also use that same advice. Really. My YouTube videos, my training, all comes from what I learned helping someone. So when I help someone, I take notes afterwards. Those notes gather together and turn into a video, a message, or a class or a webinar, and then now I'm putting it out there so I can help other people. That's cool. So just so you know, when you are helping your neighbor and they're like, hey, can you help me with something? And you get super in tune and you can read what the problem really is and you help them and they're like, wow, this is amazing. Go write down what was amazing. Go write it down, because that same information could turn into a blog post, a social media post, a meme, a message to somebody else, or just keep it because you're going to run into another person just like that person. And you can go back to your notes and go, okay, what did I do? That's the funny thing is, as you go to help people, you might have a tendency of forgetting what you did last time. So I keep notes so I can remember them, what I did and how I helped them. So when I meet the other 9,999 people with the same problem, I'm ready. So then the next person I help, wow, I sound more like an expert because I already learned from somebody else. And then the more I give that same instruction or that advice, I get better and better and better, because there's 10,000 people with the same problem. It's a different scenario, different country, but it's the same problem. We have the same problems all over the world, same stuff. So when you help somebody, take notes. This becomes super valuable. It becomes a message. Now, I don't know about you, but I now share my messages with people. I teach classes. I work with people one-on-one. I do my YouTube channel. I create videos for people to watch and learn, like online programs. And it's really cool because you can multiply your impact. Now, I know I'm stretching your thinking here, but something to consider is if you're only helping people and I'm not saying only, sorry, if you're helping people and you're not writing it down and you're not thinking about the next person coming, I think you're missing out. That's what I'm trying to say when I said only. Sorry, that doesn't mean, I didn't mean it that way. But it's just like, if you've done it once, it's going to happen again and again and again. So this is called being intentional. Get ready for the next person and get ready to help the world. It's not as gigantic as you think it is. It's really just thinking ahead and going, wow, if there's 10,000 people who have the same problem, I probably am going to bump into somebody like that again. And what would I do different next time? What could I do to make this even better? Wow, when you think that way, whoa, you're going to get inspired of like what to do. Okay, so you could intentionally start engaging with people. You got the same thing going on, but now you could actually look for people around you, people on social media. You could literally like want to help people. Yeah, I want to help people. And so you got your notes of what you did to help the other person. I did put client on there. It's not really that they were a client. It could have been a neighbor. But now you got notes and now you're like, wow, I want to help people. This changes the whole dynamics when you want to use your gifts and talents to help people. You start to find more people. It's interesting. When you want to help, you find people. But when you don't want to help, it's just kind of a person here and there and here and there, right? It kind of happens whenever. But when you want to help people, there's a lot of people. That's cool. So what if you took this and you thought, you know what, maybe I want to be a little bit more organized. Like I want to like do a business. What if you did a business? What if you started a business and you're going to be a consultant, a coach, a mentor, a guide, whatever you want to name yourself, where you could help people solve problems or help people get their goals? You could set up a bank account. You could set up a business account. You could have an email system. You could work on yourself. You could want to work with people. You take your notes, get them a little bit more organized, actually turn it into a step-by-step process. You could ask people to pay you for your time or your education. And then you could have people sign up and they learn from you. They hire you. You could have clients. They win, you win. It's like at the end here, there's like 2 stars, right? One for you, one for them. It's like, it's just a win-win. They get help, you're organized, you're like fully intentional, like, I want to do this. And you know, looking at this, what if you did make $25 an hour? $25 an hour doing this? What if for an hour of your time you charge $25? That's awesome. Helping people and getting paid $25 an hour? That's cool. What if you bumped it up to $100 an hour? I know it's kind of a big bump, but what if you did? Could you do this for $100 an hour? Yeah, you could. Okay, maybe that's too steep. Let's go right here. Let's go $40 an hour. What? What? Okay, let's take the 100 off. That's kind of a lot. $25, $40 an hour. What? That'd be crazy. That'd be so awesome. $40 an hour. And you're teaching people, help them solve their problems. This is what I did. It's what I started years ago, 18 years ago. I was like, wait a minute. People are talking to me a lot. I got to ask for some compensation. So I started with $25, $40 an hour. And as more and more people showed up, my calendar got full and it's like, wow. So I bumped it up to $100 an hour. I know that's like, what? You can decide this? I know. You need a little bit more training though on how this works, but I just want to open up your mind to this and even open up your mind to this right now. Right now, I get paid $500 to $1,000 an hour for coaching. I know that's big. Okay, that was a little, whoa, that was a big thought. But just to consider, now I'm going to back up here and make this simple again. Remember, helping somebody, take some notes because you're going to help another person. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. I want to help you get more organized so that you could still have vision about how to help people. You're taking notes. You purposely want to help people. And now I'm throwing in there going, well, what if you just went for it and really got organized? You literally could do this full time with your empath gift, with how you know how to help people, if you understand how you are as an empath. Now I'm kind of pushing this like where to go with this and be able to serve people, but you could have an assistant help you. And so that you could intentionally be working with people and be super organized in how this happens. And it could become a beautiful thing, literally a beautiful thing. I know that's kind of a big number to think that thought, but it's possible. It's possible. So I don't know if you would ever want to do this, but to consider it, really consider it. And if you already are coaching people, are you making $100 an hour? And how often is that happening? Because this is what I love to do, is I love to help people where they get to live their life on purpose and do the thing they really want to do, but to do it purposefully, they get to be themselves. They get to work from home. They can work with people all over the world. You don't have to leave the house and travel. You don't have to waste money on gas. You don't have to wear out your vehicle. You go into your office, which maybe is a spare bedroom, or at the kitchen table, and then you hold your appointments by helping people solve problems because people need help. And if you're going to spend time helping people, I don't see anything wrong with $25, $40 an hour to help people. I mean, if you had an extra hour today and somebody wanted help and they were willing to pay and they were going to pay you $40 an hour, would you turn it down or would you accept it? What would you do? $40 an hour to help somebody for an hour in solving a problem. I hope you take it. Take the opportunity. And they're like, I'll pay you, help me, because I know you can help me figure this out. People want to solve their problems and they're willing to pay for it. They are. As long as the person knows what they're doing. And so having an empath gift, the gift and talent of being an empath, plus an effective system of how to help people, like this would be a great system to learn. So that when you're wanting to build a structure of how to help lots of people, You could do a lot of great work, and it could really change your life because you can work from home, low cost. You could help people solve problems, which is what people pay the most for, is problem solving. You could do that. I mean, kids put together lemonade stands. We go buy lemonade from them. They're running a business. They got a product, they're marketing, they have a price, right? They set up their lemonade stand, and we don't complain about that. We'll pay them money, and we know it's overpriced for our highly sugar concentrated liquid. And they're not shy about asking for the money either. So we encourage kids to be entrepreneurs, don't we? Hey, yeah, go set up a lemonade stand, go bake cookies, sell them, go mow people's lawns, go be an entrepreneur. What about you? Where's your lemonade stand? Being self-sufficient, where you can decide what the price is for what you have. Are you self-sufficient? If you're not self-sufficient, like you can create your own income. If you're not self-sufficient, you probably ought to hang around me longer so that you can figure out how to take your natural gift and talent and helping people solve problems. And if these numbers are too big, it's okay. What if it was $25 an hour? Or you could do the other thing is go find another job, or maybe like, let's get you started, build your self-esteem. Let's keep it simple. Let's just keep it simple. Let's go back here. Let's keep it back here. You could still earn $25 an hour helping people solve. You could keep the system really simple, but organized. If you did this and you got organized, $25 an hour is a big deal. When you don't have to travel, you can work from home and you're doing the thing you love. And it's just how you're built, just how you're built. But empaths struggle with money. So I get that. It's like, how can I be paid, Kirk, for helping? I know it sounds weird, like to be paid for offering services to help. My person who mows my lawn, who helps me, gets paid. The people at the gas station get paid. The people at the grocery store get paid. People who write books get paid. There's a lot of help being given, but they all get paid. It's okay. You can be paid for what you can do too. It's okay. You're not ripping people off. God blessed you with a gift to help people. And when you're praying and going, God, help me, I need money to be able to pay my bills and I got to take care of this stuff. I think God sometimes says to you, I gave you a gift to help people. Use it. Use what I gave you. I'm not saying like he yells at you. I'm just saying that I think sometimes we need to open up our ears and eyes and see what God actually gave us to use. Here we're trying to take care of our life and you're trying to pray and ask for help. And it's like, it's right here in front of you. He gave you an ability to help people solve problems because you're in tune at a deeper level. You could really make a difference in other people's lives. But maybe you need help getting organized, or maybe you need help building belief in yourself, or maybe you're just kind of wrapped around this whole money thing. Like, I just have money issues, Kirk. I can help you with that. But you could be paid for your time in helping people solve problems. And if you still are like, I don't know about my empath gift, Kirk, it's okay. I know the path. I've been coaching and training people for many years of what to teach, how to help others, how to get organized so that you can do what you're meant to do. That's what I do now. I've taught seminars for years. For many years, I built all successful seminars. Every one of these seminars created anywhere between $300,000 a year to $1 million a year. I know content. I know how to teach. I know how to help you know what to teach. I could teach you how to teach other people how to solve problems. If you have an empath gift and you want to help people, I can help you get organized. I can help you get to that place where you could do really well with others. And I've got this 5-phase process. Help you in how to practice teaching others and solving problems, how to take your ideas, your thoughts, your wisdom, create your own coaching program, how to teach your program, and then how to offer it where people would purchase it. And then also how to reach out to more people in the world. But there's this inch by inch, step by step process of how to get you organized and more intentional about what you do. So I put this in here in this webinar because that's the path you're going down. If you are an empath and you can help people, and if you knew how this works a little bit more, you could really help a lot of people. If I could show you what I've learned over the last 18 years of really being an intentional empath, I could show you a lot about how to do this. So what I did is my team and I created a training program to help people literally become more organized to teach and to become a life coach or a mentor or a guide, whatever you want to call yourself in this process. But it's a great balance of education and also how to do it, the application. And so this program is called the Coach Fast Track Program. And if you're somebody who is realizing, wow, I want to do this, I'd love to do this, I'd love to get more organized, or you feel the call to like, I want to help people in a big way, and you're just looking for somebody to trust, somebody to listen to, well, my team and we've been doing this for 18 years, and we'd love to help you get organized. We have coaching, we have training, we have support, we have content. We know everything it takes to be able to be successful at this. So I put this in front of you so that you can see that there is some help here if you would like it. And if you want to know more about this program and how we do this, it's really easy. What you do is go to this link, 3ke.2/let's coach. You go here, and what you'll do is you'll schedule a phone call, and then you'll either get me or one of the other team members I showed on the picture here just a moment ago, and they will tell you about the Coach Fast Track program to see if it's a fit. First, to see if it's a fit for you, and that way you can have all the details about this. And then with all those details, you can take good 24 hours, make a decision, because there's always an incentive within the 24 hours. If this is something you want to do, then jump in. We'd love to work with you. And it's an incredible coaching program that we can teach you and help you in using your empath gift to get organized and to build this amazing structure so that you could be intentional and really get out there and make a big impact. And you can start out small and then work your way into it. That's how I did it. And I'll show you the step-by-step process of how to do that. It's awesome. It's so awesome. But the part that I want to make sure that really settles in here today on talking about being having this empath gift and how you're using it is to really consider that the way you see what goes on with people, the way you see it is going to be different. And different is good. It's good. Don't be a bully with it. Don't be aggressive with it. Share your view. Let the person digest and listen and try to understand the way you're seeing it, but you can open up people's minds because you can tune into the information that is around people. Your sensibility, the way in which you can connect to people is there. But maybe you're not in a healthy place as an empath. Maybe you're totally wide open and you're in this place. So this is the other one I want you to remember from today is you need to calibrate this personal space or you are going to get swamped with other people's information. This is a really big issue. And so I hope that you took a note on this calibration part. Also, if you have shut down or keep experiencing shutdown, you need some help with emotional management and emotional release techniques to help you be able to clear this off so that you can get back to being open. But if you've had this happen, and you're shut down, or if your kid's shut down, you want to jump on my YouTube channel and find my emotional management videos, because it'll teach you what you can start doing to be able to clear this space. And then the last part is consider getting organized. Consider being intentional about what you're doing. We here at 3 Key Elements, we guide people how to get organized and increase the intuition so that you can help as many people as possible. I believe there's a bigger vision of who you are and what you can do than what you currently see in yourself right now. There's a bigger vision. I'll always remember the moment somebody said that to me. They said, "Oh, Kirk, there's something bigger for you." And I was like, "No, there's not." And they kind of painted this vision of like what I could do. And I was like, there's no way. There's no way I could do this. I barely passed high school. I barely could do any of this. Like, you think I could do this? And they're like, you can learn. It's because you have this gift and ability. You have it. Use it. Don't hide it. Don't stick your gifts under a rock. Don't put them under the bush. Don't think you can hide it and feel good. You can't hide it and feel good. That's the thing. And when you're searching for everything else to try to fulfill you, if it's foods, if it's buying stuff, if you got to go on a bunch of vacations and you think that's going to fulfill you, it won't fill the gap inside your soul where your gift and talent is. That gets to be used to help other people. I will never forget the moment that God said, he literally said 2.5 years ago, he said, "Kirk, stop doing seminars. You need to help people get their gift activated and out there helping people. There are people who are sitting on their gifts and they're not using it because nobody will talk to them about it. Nobody will call it out. Nobody will point at it and say, you have a gift, use it. God gave it to you to work, to help other people. And it's okay if you get paid doing this to help people. God gave landscapers the gift of shrubbery, right? God gave mechanics the gift of mechanics. God gave authors the gift of story. God gave you the gift of solving problems. Why can't you do what mechanics are doing, landscapers are doing, authors are doing, and even doctors have the gift of how to fix people? You have a gift just like everybody else has been given. But inside your head, I don't think anybody has sat you down and said, hey, that's a gift that God gave you so you can help other people and you could also take care of your life financially. This will answer your financial issues, and it will answer and solve the missing feeling inside your soul. And if you're a good churchgoer and you've been connecting to God and you've been praying and asking for help and asking for solutions, then I'm going to say this to you. God sent me to you to say, use your gift. And you probably need training. I'm here for you with that. There's my newsletter. There's my YouTube channel. And then there's our paid programs. Go book a call. Find out about our Coach Fast Track program. This Coach Fast Track program with these 5 phases has been absolutely phenomenal in how it's been built, step by step of how to do this. And what's beautiful is all the content you get a license to use it. I have a coaching program you can use. I have all this content you can use. I can jumpstart your career as being a problem solver and a person who helps people get where they want to go in such a short amount of time. Or you can do it yourself. You know, do-it-yourselfers, they like to take a while to do things. And it's fine. Do-it-yourselfers are honorable. It just takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of money, and there's a lot of mistakes. But if you want to save time, save money, and avoid mistakes, this would be the program to call and ask about. There's lots of details to it. It's really cool how it works. I built it just for you. And don't worry, I'm an empath. So everything I teach has all about empath work. Everything I talk about comes from the point of view of an empath. And it's very legit, very right there, level-headed. It's not weird. It's not wacky. It's not woo-woo. It's real. Absolutely beautiful. So what you do, scan this code or go to the 3ke.2/let's coach, and then look at the calendar. Oh, there's a couple questions I have for you that you answer. And then my calendar will pop up, and then choose one of the days and the times. And it will either be me that you talk to or one of the other team members that I have. And we'll answer your questions. We'll tell you all about it so you can have all the details and you can make a decision from there. It's awesome. Looking forward to working with you. I hope I get a chance to work with you and help you with your empath gift. Oh, it'd be so cool. It'd be so cool. So I want to show you this, and then I got to run, and you guys got to run too. But let me show you this right here. I'm doing a training on this in the Coach Fast Track, because every week I do Q&A and training every Wednesday for the Coach Fast Track members. And so when you're part of this program, you'll hear live training from me every Wednesday about things I'm learning, things I'm doing, things I'm adjusting, things that I, am putting together and realizing through my own coaching appointments. Everything that's on my mind is happening and being shared on Wednesdays. And so for the Coach Fast Track people that are in there right now, not this next week, but the following week, I'm doing an in-depth training on this. I love sharing like all this cool, deep work about how to help people solve problems. I just love it. So if you get in soon to the Coach Fast Track program, you'll get this. Because that's not next week, because this next week I'll be in Hawaii doing my speaking engagement. It'll be the week after, but I'm going to be going into depth with this because I've been talking about it in different ways, but now it's like I'm going to totally go into depth and show a lot about this. And there's so much more. There's always so much more. And so you literally are tapping into a resource here of Coach Fast Track, of my 18 years of coaching and working seminars and all the classes I built. We can help you get started, get going, and do your thing. That's what we can do, is you doing your mission. Each one of us have a mission. You have your own mission. What you feel led to do, the people you feel led to help, will help you fine-tune who that is, what to teach, and how to teach, so that you can do a great job at this. It's beautiful. So yeah, go ahead, book a call. We'd love to talk to you. We'll give you all the details, and then you can make a decision from there. Awesome. Okay, cool. Great to be with you. Super good to be with you. Thank you for taking time and investing time here today, taking notes, and now seeing what you can do to help you as an empath or help your friend as an empath, and also you to consider being an entrepreneur in stepping forward and getting organized. Okay, love it. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. I hope I get a chance to talk to you on the call if it's my turn to do a call. That would be awesome. So, all right. Love you guys. Thanks for being here. Bye.